What's happening, guys? How you doing? Hamburger Podcast. Let me do this real quick. Sorry, get to do it each time. Do this, blah, 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 but it's important. Guys, I can't breathe. George Floyd, rest in peace. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to talk about it in a second. Give me a second here. I want to fucking tag this because I'm going to tell you something. We'll get in on this. Okay, good. I got volume. That's good to know. Naomi commented on my TikTok video. Again, good to know. Hold on a second. So, I like that the riots have been peaceful. The protests. I support them heavily. I'm big on protests, and I understand looting. I mean, I know people get so mad when I say that, but the people who get mad when I say that, they had moms and dads. They got stuff. I mean, let me tell you, there was a time in my life I had huge Christmases and birthdays. I had a pony. I had a magician. I'm not lying. My life started out really fucking about to be fun, you know? Like my life was going to really, really be fun. By the way, if you don't want to be tagged, you just fucking unfriend me. I've said that a million times. I tag everyone and anyone I want on my list. If you're on my list, I tag you. If you don't want to be tagged, I understand. Unfriend me. I'll still love you. I'll just wish you dead. No, Okay. So here's the deal, Theo. Okay, I want to come over to this because I want to change this to this, and I want to show this because I'm proud of this. I think this is a beautiful thing. If you look out there, that is a sea of faces. Every race, every nationality, every religion, all the genders, every sexuality. Right there, right here. Ow, sorry, that hurt. Right here, I got back shots and anyway, neck shots in my neck. Right, I got back shots. People were pounding me in the ass. Anyway, so here's the deal, though. Oh, let me do the thing I need to do too. Sorry, I gotta go. I gotta be iTunes, right? iTunes, Spotify. I want to do all this, so let me do it right. Okay. Okay. So once again, welcome to Einberger Podcast. Thursday, June 5th, I believe. Follow me on this. Again, let me go back to rest in peace, George Floyd. They did the. I gotta tell you, I'm sorry. This is the problem with the world. They did the funeral or the services, and Sharpton starts calling up the celebrities and the big shots and the people he decides are privileged enough to be a part of this. Al Sharpton decided who was getting to come on stage, who was privileged. Because whoever didn't get to come on stage didn't get the privilege of coming on stage. Follow me, please, with some intelligence. They didn't get the privilege of being on stage. Now, if you can follow this and understand, that's what it's any type of like a privilege is getting what other people don't get. So there were all these same people with the same grief and the same everything at these services, but certain people, Tiffany Haddish, people like that, they got to go on stage. They're Black privilege. See, this was a Black event. So there were some Black people that weren't as privileged to go on stage. They weren't Black privileged. Tiffany Haddish, certain people like that, they were Black privileged to go on stage with Reverend Al Sharpton, who deemed them privileged enough to join him on stage. He decided. He also decided who got to leave the church first. We gave the privilege to the family. And so follow me. Stop feeling like this is just happening here and there. This is a reverend who picked certain people to come on stage. Do you remember Jesus tore down the cloths in the Jewish temples because you can't separate? Some people don't get to be here and other people get to be here. But just follow me. This just came into my head. So this wasn't part of the show, but this just popped into my head. And the simple fact is this, and I'm telling you this, is simply this, is if you can understand this. So when we talk about white privilege and what it is, see, white privilege is the right to vote. White privilege is the right to vote. Follow me. White privilege is the right to vote, own property, eat anywhere you wanted. That was white male privilege. White men could go anywhere they wanted, eat anything they wanted, buy property wherever they wanted, pretty much, you know what I'm saying, get a decent job, meaning they could make more than anybody else at the same type of job, doing the same amount of work, they got paid more. Those were privileges. They got better access to the jobs. They got the jobs first. Now there's only the white privileged. See, it's not white males anymore, it's the white privilege. Now, meaning, as a white male, even if I was poor, white privilege, white male privilege was, even if I didn't have money, I still had the right to vote. I mean, if I owned property or something like that, but even after that changed. If I was a white man, I had the right to vote, the right to go to any restaurant I want, the right to anywhere I could afford to go, I could go. That was white male privilege. That existed for decades, generations. It existed in this country. It existed in this country heavy. That was white male privilege. The right to vote, the right to do all these things that other people didn't have the right to do, just based on being a white man. That ended with all the other things, like with all the laws and everything ending. So now we deal with white privilege versus white privileged. Now, what we are now is we have white privileged. Hilton, the Hilton women, what was her name? Whatever that bitch's name was, Hilton. The Kardashians, so they're Armenian, so they're white. But white, that's white privilege. White privileged. See, Bill Cosby's kids, so to speak, who had money, they were black privileged. They got things that other black people didn't get. These are white people who get things that other white people don't get. They're white privileged. But white male privilege in itself for poor white males does not exist for a long time. Now, it really didn't to begin with because we didn't own property. We didn't have the same rights anyway. Now, when we look at things, and if I can take you into this for a minute and follow me, this is why I have it. So this is some of the white privilege right now. This white woman and her white child live right here. I mean, this is what can I tell you? This is reality for a lot of people. We can't call this. This is not privileged. She is not white privileged. She is white poor. She's white trash. She's what I am. She's broke. She doesn't matter. She doesn't count. The child doesn't count. The child doesn't have the same opportunities as other children who have money. Now, let me say this, please, and understand this. And if you can understand this, you'll get a lot of things. It is 100% true that in this country, black people are treated worse than everybody else, by everyone else. You see, follow me though, not just by everyone treats black people badly. Not everyone by any means, not each individual human, meaning every race has a built-in prejudice against black people that comes from other places, not just from white people, not just from Latin people, but these things existed before these people were here. They had the prejudices. Africans come here and are prejudiced against American blacks, and that's not white people making them think that way. The point is, what I'm trying to say is that it is true. Black Americans and black male Americans get the brunt of everything. Now follow me though. In this country, the poor, the poor Americans, and follow me, the poor Americans in this country, poor Americans have matter nothing, get no rights, have no freedoms, really, have no privilege. Poor Americans are all across the board, whatever their religion, race, or anything, are treated like shit in this country by the police, by everyone. Now, where it differs to be black in America, as opposed to being white or Japanese or Arabic or Latin, is even if you have money, and this is the problem, is so many other races want to jump on the boat with black people in the sense, I pardon my expression, I didn't mean jump on the boat, but what I mean is they want to jump on board with the, yeah, us too. Like Asian people constantly want, yeah, oh my God. No white people are really shitting on Asian people since the fucking 1950s. Since Korea. I mean, stop it. Like this, stop it. Nobody's got to, no, they're not getting fucked with. It's stupid. They're jumping on board bullshit because they don't want people to realize that they're privileged. So, follow me, is black people in America, what differs is if you're a black person, see, if you're poor in America, you're treated like shit. If you're black in America and poor, you're treated like shit. If you're black in America and you're middle class, upper middle class, or slightly rich, you could still be totally treated like shit, dragged out of your car, dragged out of your house, shot for the wrong reason, misidentified because you look like someone. All that can happen to you. Now, just so you understand, that happens to poor people every day of every race. It's happened to me a billion times growing up where I grew up, being a rare white person. Not only, there were several white people, there just wasn't a ton. There was an excess. So a lot of white people that were there were buying drugs, it's true, but not all of us. Some of us lived there. So the point I'm trying to make is, being someone who grew up in the opposite and being in all that, I understand that the privilege comes in, like in the sense of, what sucks about being black in America, especially a black male in America, is that you can have money, you could have a good job, you could live in a good neighborhood and drive a good car and still get treated like a criminal, still get treated like you're poor, still get treated like you don't matter. Like the rest of us who are poor, you get treated like shit like us. I get that. I totally get that. And I don't discredit that. The bullshit is where everybody else, once they're making a certain amount of money or living in certain neighborhoods, they're pretty safe from the police violence. Black people are never safe from police violence, even if they have lots of money. Even if they're the son of a bitches that are putting people down, they could still get pulled over and dragged out of their home, even though they're corporate, even though they're doing child labor, everything, they still come home and they can get arrested. That's what being black in America sucks about, in that sense. That's what happens. But understand that poor in America is treated like that across the board. So there's not a white privilege, there's white privileged. Just like there's black privileged. See, the generations of black people, like Sidney Poitier's kids, so to speak, you know, going on, just bringing it up to whoever. I could go to a million, to Jordan's kids, things like that. These are kids that are black privileged. They have privileges. They're privileged. Kobe's kids, Magic Johnson's kids, on and on. Obama's kids, they're black. They're privileged. They have privileges. The privileges are they get all these extra things because they have money and everything. They're privileged. They're black privileged. There's Asian privilege. There's just privilege. See, that's the problem. They want to keep doing this. And the fact and the truth of the matter is, if we look at this, if we truly look at this, if we see what's really going on, and we see the protests, and we see the fact that it's everybody, that everybody got this man, even if somehow he had a fake 20, odds are it wasn't even on purpose. I have probably passed 1,000 fake 20s without even knowing. I don't deserve to get arrested, attacked, or anything else. He never resisted arrest. Now, even the conspiracists, even the deepest conspiracists who are saying that, hey, this whole thing's a setup, There's no twin brother. He never died. He's the twin brother. It was all set up to bring in the National Guard, just to surround us, just to be able to bring in the National Guard, which in a way they did, but that's not the point. Even the conspiracists who say all that, who go so far as to say that this whole thing was set up to bring in the National Guard and start New World Order shit. COVID, everything was all set up. This has all been a plan. Even the people who say that and show that they work together, everything else, still say, but if this was real, it's fucking horrible. So even the people who think it might not be real say if it is, though, it's horrible. All the rest of us think it's horrible what happened. I mean, not horrible, that all of those cops should do life. That they're horrible fucking people, that they murdered that dude. That he did nothing to be treated like that. That he in no way deserved to be treated like that. He did not resist. He did nothing. He just said, stop, let me breathe. Let me breathe. And it's so sad. And I don't think anyone is saying shit, but this is bullshit. And for the first time in forever, we are all kind of on the same page. Why divide now? Why do any division? The only thing Al Sharpton said that was intelligent, but it needs to be for everyone, is what are we competing over? What are we fighting over? We all believe this was wrong. We all believe there needs to be change. Even the police know there needs to be change. But there needs to be change for everyone. There needs to be change for the poor. If we as the poor keep pretending like these celebrities care about us or know us or get us, if we keep pretending that these fake-ass people with their fake-ass poor stories are behind us and support us, if we think our mayor or any of these people support us, then we're stupid. We have to come together. Working class people, poor people who've been treated like shit forever, we need to come together. And you know what? White people, brown people, yellow people, all that, we need to stick up for black people. We need to call out police. If my privilege, and I've done this many times before, by the way, I have seen young black men get pulled over endlessly for no reason, because I've taught for 14 years in South Central LA, but I taught for years on Crenshaw and Slauson. And for some reason, almost every day, some car full of black kids was getting pulled over for no fucking reason, searched, which is illegal to search them. But they don't really ask them. They kind of tell them they're going to search them. And I'd step in and go, whoa, you can't do that. And they go, sorry, no, don't sir me. I'm a teacher here. I know my rights. They're like, okay, well, why don't you no, I don't need to let you do anything. What are you doing with them? How are you searching them? What are you searching them for? I watched you. What are you following? You were waiting there. You couldn't have seen them do something. You were waiting there. They drove by. But they can't. So if that's my privilege that I get to do that there, I do it. If I did that in fucking the Ozarks or Redland, they'd shoot me in the face, you see, because white don't matter there. But in South Central LA, I'm a teacher, and it does matter if the cop fucking beats me or shoots me. So I do get that privilege of saying something, and I did say stuff, and I should, and all of us should. And so that's the one thing, is if you're poor and you're working class, and you get what it's like to be fucked with, you get what it's like to be poor, then you have a slight idea of what it might kind of be like to be black. Well, you know what? If you have the ability to stand up, we need to stand up each time. We need to question, not yell, not cuss, not throw bottles, question. And I'm going to say this. I understand the rioters. I don't get them. I don't condone them, but I understand what they're doing. We've been told forever, if you're worth anything, you have all this stuff. Everyone who's worth anything has these shoes, those shoes, this, that, but you can't afford it. You can't afford the real. All of a sudden, there's a couple nights where you get to afford it. What do? You fucking grab it. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to say that a lot of us don't understand the white privilege thing because we haven't had white privilege. I've been cuffed so many fucking times. I got cuffed for a hate crime against Jewish people. I'm 100% Jewish. I'm a white Jew. Well, actually, I'm an African white Jew. It's a weird thing. It's a whole mix. The point I'm trying to make is I'm white. I'm white. This face is white. I've been pulled over for buying drugs. I've been pulled over for so many different things just going home. I get it, but I don't get it to the extent that you have to put up with. Trust me, I know that. But I do get it, and a lot of us get it. So let's be on the same side and fight for all the same rights that we all want. That we all want the right to succeed. Someone said this, that, once you're 18, everyone has the same chance. Bullshit. Bullshit. People were buying their kids' ways into college with money. That's privilege. They took scholarships from kids who should have got those scholarships that didn't have the money. That's privilege. Those kids were all different colors. That's fucking privilege, people. Let's wake up. Let's team up. We're so much better as a team. So much better as a team.